Welcome to Fuzzy's Opinion, where matters pertinent to the Caribbean and its diaspora are discussed. Today's video is about BRICS and Jamaica's outreach to become a member of BRICS. BRICS is a geopolitical and economic bloc formed as a bulwark against Western-dominated global order. The bloc consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They also have other countries in the blocs too, but these are the major countries. It has a combined GDP of 28 trillion, which represents 27% of the world's GDP. In 2018, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was invited to the BRICS summit in South Africa. In his speech at the summit, Prime Minister Holness highlighted the many ways being a member of BRICS could benefit small developing countries such as Jamaica. He emphasized the vulnerability of small nation states to things like climate change, where one catastrophic weather event could wipe out a small economy. He also spoke about global compliance, where changes in the international rules could negatively impact industries in small economies. Holness also emphasized the need for smaller countries with similar development challenges to form strategic alliances to navigate the chaotic global environment, in addition to sharing technology that would enhance industry and improve human capital. Now, as you know, 2018 was 6 years ago, and as we see, Jamaica is still not a member of the BRICS. However, recently, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson once again brought up the issue of BRICS and urged the Jamaican government to exercise its economic sovereignty and agency and join BRICS, which he described as a seminal moment in global relations and an economic model that could unlock the prosperity that has eluded developing nations under the current global order. To appreciate the significance and potential impact of BRICS on the current global financial order, it is important to understand the workings of this Western-dominated system. Under the current system, the US dollar and US financial institution reign supreme. Currently, most trade between countries have to be made in US dollars and have to pass through US banks and institutions. In Latin America and the Caribbean, 96% of the trade is done in US dollars. In Africa, it's 79%, and in Asia, it's 74%. The only exception is Europe, where the euro is dominant. This means every country has to have a reserve of US dollars in their central bank. Jamaica, for example, has 4 billion US dollars in reserve. In addition to trade, countries have to maintain adequate US dollar reserve to manage their international payments and exchange rates. This financial order has given US banks and institutions powerful hegemony over developing nations. And one of the ways America exercises this hegemony is by imposing sanctions on countries that run into conflict with Americans' interests. The most recent example of this is Russia being shut out of the SWIFT international payment system by America and Europe. The SWIFT system is an international messaging system that facilitates financial transactions between countries. It's basically the system that allows banks in different countries to transfer funds, between themselves. And it's totally controlled by America and Europe. Countries cut off from SWIFT can experience disruption of international trade, since most transactions rely on the SWIFT payment system for secure and efficient communication between banks. And this can lead to delay in payments and difficulty in importing and exporting goods. Such countries can also experience economic isolation, and this isolation can deter foreign investment and lead to decreased economic growth. Another consequence is also currency devaluation due to a lack of confidence in the country's currency, potentially resulting in devaluation. And this can increase inflation and reduce purchasing power of citizens. Given this reality, BRICS has now established their own financial structure to reduce dependency on US institutions. The BRICS bloc has now established the BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement, BRICS Pay, and the New Development Bank. The BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement is similar to the IMF in that it provides loan to member countries that are finding it difficult to service their external debt. But unlike the IMF that demands tough austerity policies that usually result in hardship for the population of the recipient country, the BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement doesn't attach stringent policies to its loan. The New Development Bank operates similar to the World Bank and provides resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects, such as highway, railway, and energy production in developing countries. And BRICS Pay, which is set up to reduce a country's exposure to US sanction, is basically like the SWIFT system. But unlike the SWIFT system that operates primarily using US dollars and euro, BRICS Pay allows transactions to be made using a country's local currency. So what are the drawbacks of BRICS? There are several drawbacks. One of the major problems is the differing and conflicting economic interests of member countries. Members have to also be mindful of the fact that the US and the EU may view them as a geopolitical rival, which could lead to trade tension and even economic sanction. Another problem with BRICS is the low trade integration among member countries. For example, while BRICS exports account for 25% of global exports, only 15% of those exports are between BRICS countries, and trade between BRICS countries account for about 4% of global export. Also, given the fact that BRICS countries tend to be less stable than developed countries, there is also the risk of political and economic instability caused by government policies or regulations. So that's my overview of BRICS. Tell me in the comment what you think about Jamaica joining BRICS. Like, share, and subscribe.